What's up, boys? In today's video, we're going to learn how to play Terran versus Protoss in the most meta way possible. You might even consider this standard. And what this is going to be is a single gas Reaper expand into a mine drop into a 5-1-1 all-in. I do believe that this is the most popular build for Terran now, and for newer players, diamond players who maybe want to learn how to do this, I am here to show you. So for this video, I've asked my friend Kylos, who is a 5K Protoss player, to help me with this video. So massive shout out to him. If this video helps you out, please make sure to give him a thank you. Now, we're just playing Reaper Expand. If you want to know exactly how to play Reaper Expand, I've already made a video on it. I'll put it on screen now. And you can also learn whether or not you want an 18 or 20 scout. So if you're curious about that, go ahead and give that video a watch. But I'm going to talk about the build first and then the micro, and we're going to talk about the build right now basically. Only thing before is you need to make sure that you deal with this probe. So just send 2 SCVs to attack this worker, right? So the barracks builder I send down here, and I have this SCV here too. And yeah, just attack the worker. Try to not get your command center blocked for too long. As you can see, I get it as soon as I have 400 minerals, so I was successful with this. And yeah, so now you're going to go out of Reaper Expand here. So we're going to get our second depot, and with our orbital, as soon as our orbital is finished morphing, so if we go back, our orbital is morphing, now it's done, we're going to rally to this area and go ahead and build our factory here. And the reason why is because we need to make sure that we have a blink wall versus the stalkers. So if the stalkers blink up here from the low ground, we want to have a tank here and a nice blink wall right here. So please make sure that you're getting your factory in the right spot. And then the order is factory, second gas, bunker. Now you can go bunker before second gas, but I tend to go second gas first. Depends on how safe you want to be. We're also going to make 2 marines, so we're going Reaper and then Marine into a reactor. You can also make 3 marines if you like, but I don't particularly think that it's necessary. Now, as soon as your natural is finished, you want to get the orbital as soon as you can. And out of the factory, we want to get a car first. So we're going to go car. Let me put the production tab on here. So we're going to get the car, and we're going to make the starport as soon as we can, as soon as the factory finishes. So car, starport, just like that. And the reason that we're making a car is because we can't really afford anything that costs gas, and cars don't cost gas, right? So we're going to get the car. You can also make the Widow Mine and go for a 3 mine drop, but I prefer to make the car. Really your choice. Alright, so out of the starport, you're going to make a medevac, and you're going to make a second mine. And make sure that you rally them here, in this area. Now my opponent scouts it, but yeah, still trying our best. So you want to rally here, because you want to pick up and boost across the map and hit as close as possible to on time. You really want to make sure that these things are rallied to the edge. Don't rally them here and pick up here. Don't rally them like out here. Just keep them right here, make it nice and simple. Pick up and boost. Now you're going to fly in with the medevac. And at this point, you're going to scout the gas here. So notice how he doesn't have any gas. I'm paying attention to that. So I'm going to go ahead and do my mine drop. Looks like I'm going to kill a stalker. Pretty cool. And now, let's actually talk about how to micro these things here. The medevac has 3 roles in Terran versus Protoss: to deal damage, to get scouting, and to keep your opponent's units in position. So you want to keep the medevac like here. Now on this map, I don't think that it can actually fit here. So here would be a better spot because stalkers can't hit it. Whereas over here, I'm pretty sure stalkers can hit it from both sides. So you want to keep your opponent feeling like they have to keep units in position. So what I do is I just pick up my Reaper Hellion and I send it over here, and I'm just trying to take his APM, trying to take his attention, and I'm trying to force him to keep units in position. And the reason why this is so important is because we don't want him to have all of his stalkers across the map and to kite me across the map, okay? So with that out of the way, let's talk about the next step. So we did our mine drop, or we queued up the units, right, and did our mine drop. Now what are we doing? So first of all, at 38 supply, so right now is a great time, you need to build a depot, which I actually forget this game, so I end up queuing 2 depots at the same time, and I get supply blocked. Pretty big mistake, but not the end of the world. It happens. Sometimes you forget a depot. Alright. So, that's the first thing, is the 38 depot. Now, as soon as your medevac comes out, you're going to make a tech lab, and you're going to make a barracks right next to the starport. After that, you're going to get an eBay, and then your third gas. So, just continuously produce depots, eBay, so eBay, third gas. Now, we're going to go tank liberator. So, tank liberator. Now, you can get the tank and the liberator before the eBay, and that actually is correct. But I do it like this. It's completely fine. Just make sure that you're getting these units relatively on time. Now, when your first tank is halfway constructed, you're going to go ahead and get your third barracks. So I think I'm going to do that here. Very good. And you're going to lift up the starport and build a reactor on it, and you're going to put the barracks here. Now, I go for Liberator. You can also go for Raven this game. Completely fine. Raven is safer, but it costs more gas. So it's up to you what you want to do. Now, as soon as I can afford it, I'm going to go ahead and get my barracks. So barracks 4 and 5 here. And I'm going to saturate my gas, and I'm going to get my fourth gas. Doesn't really matter the order of these things. You just need to get them done. Also, I queued up +1 attack. And you want to queue up +1 attack before stim. So +1, stim, and combat all take different times to finish. So make sure that you are getting all of these upgrades on time, so that way they all finish on time. So the order is +1, stim, and then we're going to go ahead and get combat. And we're going up to 2 tanks here. And like I said, we have a nice blink wall here. If the stalkers blink up, my tank will shoot them, and they'll have to go through this choke point to kill my tank. So that's why we do it that way. And the second tank is in the natural. And we're just making depots, getting our fourth gas, and producing units. So we're going to go ahead and get combat shield here. And we're going to continuously produce marauders, marines, and out of 4th and 5th barracks, we're not going to get any add-ons. And that's about it for the build. Reactor on the starport, reactor for the factory. And yeah, that's about it for the build. So yeah, that's it. Alright. Pretty sure I'm not forgetting anything here. Now, before we talk about the push, let's talk about early game micro. So with the Reaper, what we want to do is we want to come up and scout the tech. And we want to scout the tech before our car finishes. So if we go back here, where's my Reaper? I'm trying to send the Reaper up here, right? But I can't because he has a full wall here. But you want to scout your opponent's tech before the car finishes. And the reason is if it's a Stargate, you need to do something different. Mine drop does not work versus Stargate. And if you want to know how to play against that, please let me know. And I'm planning on making a video on it anyways. So, if you can't scout the tech with the Reaper, you have a couple of choices here. You can either blind counter Twilight, because Twilight is the most popular opener from Protoss, especially on the current patch. Or you can send the Reaper into the main base and try to scout the tech in exchange for sacking the Reaper. 2 choices there. Do not scan, it's not worth it. And yeah, so that's basically it for the Reaper. Also, if we go back to the really early game, my Reaper is, I just send my Reaper straight across the map. But because you're playing Reaper Expand, you might want to scout for proxy locations with the Reaper, or look for the probe that might be hiding out here, because the probe could come in and deal damage. Now, the reason I didn't do this is because I almost killed the probe with my worker, and I thought that he wouldn't want to come back in with the probe. So I decided not to do that, but it's probably the better move. So that's the, basically it for the Reaper. Obviously, you want to scout if it's Nexus before core, and if it's core, you can check by the Nexus timing. This is 100% core before Nexus. And if it is core before Nexus, just attack the pylon. Don't lose the Reaper coming up. Because if the Adept hits you twice and shades on you, you're going to lose the Reaper. It's just not worth it. You need to try to scout the tech with it. So there's that. Now we already talked about how to do the mine drop, but let's go all the way to the Liberator. So we're just waiting for the Liberator to come out. Also, when the Adept shades up into your base, you want to try to rise the depot and prevent the shade in. I was unsuccessful this game and the Adept got in. Not a big deal. Now, with the Reaper Heli, you want to keep it over here and try to scout for the third base and potentially deny it, but my opponent was good about getting the third base up. So there's that. And with the mine drop, it didn't really do anything. It killed a stalker and I got 3 workers, but I denied mining time. So that's nice. You don't have to deal damage. And it looks like I even get some more workers here. I get 2 more workers. Now, for the Liberator, you want to siege it on a mineral line, and once it's done its damage, unsiege it and try to keep it in the dead space somewhere. Now on this map you can't really do that. You can't fit anything here. You can only fit stuff here. So not very ideal, but yeah. So we siege it here, and I decided to just send it home. But ideally what you want to do is you want to force your opponent to keep units in position against the mine drop and the Liberator. So that way they can't kite you across the map. It's really important. Now, with my medevac drop, if we go back, I scouted the gas, right? First I scouted the lack of the gas, but then I see the gas. Now because I see the gas, I know that he's going to have splash when I do my push, which means I'm not going to pull the boys. I can still play a 5-1-1 all-in, but I'm not going to pull the boys. Now if you see no gas here, pull the boys because it's going to be zealots. Alright. So yep, there's that. And then we already talked about the Liberator. Now with that out of the way, we want to move out at 7 minutes and hit at 7:30. So you can see my upgrades are finishing here. And you want to move out now. And you want to hit at 7:30. And I kept my Liberator alive, I kept my medevac alive. And notice how I'm not pulling the boys. I'm getting +1 armor, and I'm going for my attack. Producing Marauders, calling down a depot, producing lots of units. And now we're going to talk about how to actually follow up this push. I think that this is the part where the more advanced players can learn something. Because I feel like everyone who already knows how to play this build just all-ins with the SCVs every time, and they don't know how to keep the momentum going. And that's really why I decided to make this video. So we're going to come up, we're going to try to deal damage. My opponent has a lot of units, but look at how much supply I have, right? So I'm going to try my best to get some damage dealt here. And the way that you want to micro this is you want to pull back the Marines, keep the Marauders up front, and then what's going to happen is the Zealots are going to fight the Marauders, the Colossus are going to fight the Marauders, and the Marines are going to shoot and kill the Zealots. That's how you want to micro it. So I'm going to pull back the Marines and fight here, siege the Liberator, which I siege it too far forward. And honestly, I'm kind of throwing. I'm even rallying units in from a bad angle, but I kill all the gateway units, so that's kind of nice. But I'm still on the clock. My opponent has a third base, and I don't, right? I'm building my third, right? So behind this, I'm getting my third, but I'm still losing economically. I really need to do something. And this looks bad for me. My push has failed. And it's because I just didn't do enough. Like, I didn't manage to keep my Liberator here, kind of because of the map. I didn't manage to keep my mine drop alive. I allowed him to scout me with the Adept earlier, if you were paying attention. And I kind of mismicroed. Like, he's been outplaying me, right? So this game has not been going very well. And, yeah, so at this point, I should unsiege and leave, because he just has too many units. And now, we should start producing Liberators. So, notice how I have 4 medevacs? You might be like, well, it's Colossus, let's make Vikings. And that's nice, but Liberators are way better if you're playing 5-1-1. So, we're going to go for the Liberators. We're going to try to rotate around. My +1 armor's finishing. And yeah, my opponent decides to go across the map here. And we're going to base trade. At least for a little bit. I'm going to come in, try to kill the third here, which I successfully do. All of his probes get away, but I kill the third. And he kills my third. Now, I have successfully caught up in eco, which might seem crazy, but if we look, I'm down about 14 workers, but I've killed the third, and our thirds are equal relative to each other. Like, I know his is a little bit more, but that's normal for Protoss. So I absolutely could take this into a macro game, but I decided to go 8 Rex and really try to all in, because Protoss late game is just really strong. When he gets that storm, it's going to be really hard to deal with. So, I'm just going to try to keep it pushing. Sieging my Liberators here. Taking a pretty good fight, honestly. If we look at the units lost, I'm trading slightly better. And yeah, I'm just keeping his gateway units low. And he's having a hard time affording things. And yeah, I'm just trying to abuse the Liberators. Notice how I'm still not pulling the boys. Right? I'm getting my third base up. I'm trying to rotate around. Look at how massively oversaturated he is. Right? And like I said, I could take this into a macro game. I'm winning in supply, I'm catching up in workers, and my orbital's on the way. Now, I take a moment to play this a little bit defensively. At some point, I get my second eBay armory, and I'm going for plus 2 here. I'm going for 2-2. And yeah, I'm just going to continuously produce units best I can, keeping my money low. And now we're going to go for a base trade here. Now, he is more advanced in the base trade because he hit me faster than I hit him. Now, watch what I do here. I'm going to kill the third, which is cool. And then I'm going to go into the natural. Look at my supply. Alright, it's going down pretty dramatically. But if we look, I have no workers. So if we actually take a look at the army supply, right, it's a lot closer than it actually looks here. And then we can even see I'm making more army supply. And yeah. So, what I should be doing is going into the main base and looking for a Dark Shrine. This is the most important tool Protoss has in base trades. And I end up killing the natural, which is fine. Killing the third and the natural is fine. And then I come in, I kill the sentry, and now here's where I make a critical blunder. I'm attacking the gateway for a long time. I'm not going deep into the base. This is a mistake. You need to go deep into the base, and you need to find out if there's a Dark Shrine, and you need to find out if you can kill the Forge. So I come in, see the Dark Shrine, and then he warps in Dark Templar, and now I'm trying to desperately land a base. So I know the Dark Templar are coming. I try to land a base, but the Dark Templar just connect really, really well, and I lose basically half my army. And with that, I lose the game. If we look at the army supply, I'm actually in a really good spot before the Dark Templar come out. So if I just had my orbital landed here, or I went in and killed the Dark Shrine, I'm winning in army supply, and I'm going to go on to win this game. Because Terran has a pretty easy time in base trades, right? So, just a critical blunder here, taking way too much damage from the Dark Templar. And with that, I decide, you know, this game is probably over, but I'm still going to try. So I'm going to kill the pylon. I'm going to kill the other pylon, and you should do this. I just kill all the pylons, try to depower. And now I'm going to go attack this base because this is his last chance to stay in the game. And I have so many Liberators. He recalls. I siege my Liberators on his recall, and he just has too many units. So I go ahead and tap out. And I lose this game. And that might surprise you. Like, why are you making a video about a game that you lose? And it's because we all make mistakes. And I went into the game, and I still got something out of it. I still got value out of it. Where did I go wrong this game? Oh, well, he was kind of outplaying me. But after we, you know, traded each other's thirds, I was in a good position. I could play a macro game there. Oh, I needed to go into the main base deeper and not kill that gateway. All of these things that I learned as a player, and you guys can learn too. So this video will teach you how to play this build, that you don't have to pull the boys. It'll teach you about the Liberator transition. It'll teach you how to analyze replays. I hope you learned something, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.